Yeah, it's rewind time.
Downtown, everyone's waiting for. Downtown, everyone's waiting for you. Are you on? Hello, Mike. Not me, Mike, but the microphone, Mike. So sometimes you feel like a big old dum-dum because you just recorded a 20-minute long review for a movie and the microphone wasn't on. Welcome, everyone, to another Keystone Film Review. Deja vu. So, Last Night in Soho, we had recorded a 20-minute review, and then...
We did a little goofy goof.
I did a little goofy goof. He had nothing to do with it. I forgot to turn the microphone on. So it's just 20 minutes of us going...
We're playing charades with our faces.
But we saw Last Night in Soho, directed by Edgar Wright, written by Edgar Wright, and Catherine... why did I close it out? Christy Wilson Cairns, starring Thomas and Mackenzie, Annie Taylor-Joy, Matt Smith, Diana Rigg, Michael J.O., which in the non-sound version took us a long time to find his name.
For some reason, he's not on
IMDb
for Last Night in Soho, which is very weird, considering he's a main character.
Yes.
But anyway, 15 minutes later after that, we were like, hey, let's actually do the review. So, let's actually do the review.
Last Night in Soho, Edgar Wright. This is his least Edgar Wright-like movie. When we did the trailer review a few months back, I even said it doesn't really feel like an Edgar Wright movie. I don't know how he's going to do his trademark fast-cut montages.
Like he usually does in his action comedies.
Simon, with Simon Pegg making coffee in Shaun of the Dead, or Simon Pegg making... coffee in Hot Fuzz, or Simon Pegg pouring a beer in The World's End.
Just all examples.
Just all those examples. But I really think in him trying to steer away from that style, he really found himself in a way. He found a style that is not, admittedly, completely unique. But man, was it masterful. I really enjoyed this movie.
Yeah, he obviously, as you know, he kind of shifted genres here. Now it's more like a little, horror, crime, thriller.
Yes, not much comedy
type thing.
Mm-hmm.
See, a huge tonal shift on that, but he did it somehow in a good way.
Yeah.
Like, well, not somehow. He's Edgar Wright. Come on. He'd do good stuff. Now, he usually you're afraid when somebody like a director changes like genres like that. You never really know, and somehow he nailed it.
Yeah,
because he's Edgar Wright. Jesus Christ, because you're always afraid that he's gonna either I don't know. I'm losing my mind here. I don't even know. How I think
what my friend is trying to say is that when someone kind of goes away from their normal style and their normal genre, that they're going to lose what makes them special, in a way, maybe, kind of,
or the fact that they might not be able to pull it off.
Yes,
the new what they're stepping into. That's what I meant to say, but big dum brain hurt real good. Yeah, so I was a little bit frightened on how that would work, that it might not be a good movie, but my man, he pulled through. He said, "Hey, we're gonna do it. I don't care what you saw in that trailer too." That probably gave away most of the story, but don't worry, I got more for you.
Mm-hmm.
And boy, did he! All right, because there's some twists and turns there I really enjoyed.
Mm-hmm. That second trailer, which we didn't do a reaction to, because after the first trailer, we really didn't want to see anymore. We just wanted to see the movie. The second trailer, which just came on when we were watching another movie, we thought gave a lot of it away. We thought it gave the whole thing away. But
it seemed like it did.
It seems like it did, but
plot points and everything.
The whole second trailer is kind of like a red herring, which is great because, you know, it's different from what you expect it to be. But I think this whole movie is just masterful and filled with like little details, which Edgar Wright's known for. With the sound specifically. You know, he always has like jukebox soundtracks where it's just a bunch of songs that kind of fit the theme or the tone or the time period he's going for. With this one, all the 60s music that Thomasin McKenzie's character listened to before she had her dreams that kind of took her into the 60s and followed Anya Taylor-Joy's character around. The 60s music would just play only in like the left channel in mono, not stereo, not surround or anything. It was just mono in the left channel. And, you know, at first I was like, that's kind of a weird thing, but okay. And then once she entered the 60s, it like just faded into a surround sound and became more immersive. And I thought that was a really cool detail that I hope a lot of people picked up on because it was brilliant and I loved it. And
once she got entered into that time period, you got immersed into that time period.
Yes.
It was a really nice, subtle move, which we briefly talked about when we were muted to death.
Here's a clip.
So like knowing Edgar Wright, he definitely made that choice, and it wasn't just like this theater sucks thing, and didn't play out of the right side. There's one thing that I wanted to point out now that I completely forgot the last time is that this movie has a lot of kind of ups and downs as far as like roller coaster like moments. Like you're like, oh shit, oh my god, it's fucking going crazy now with a bunch of slopes. So like once it starts picking up in these like these fast moving scenes, it stays on that pace for a while and kind of gives you anxiety because it just keeps going and going and doesn't seem to want to stop. And I thought that was awesome because, you know, most horror movies that we watch nowadays kind of like throw a jump scare at you or just like, oh, there's a killer chasing you or something. Like this has long scenes where it's just constant something's happening and kind of like puts you on the edge of your seat like, what the fuck is happening?
It's kind of like a diet Mother in a way. Where like Mother the entire goddamn movie is like
diet
that. Diet Mother.
Is this a beverage I haven't had before?
The Darren Aronofsky film Mother.
Yeah. Where that film had you fucking anxious the whole time and just
this gives you
dear
breaks.
Lord. Yeah, this it goes and just gives you anxiety on what's about to happen, and then finally something happens, and then you've got that gentle breeze for a hot minute before it picks up again. And it has a lot of those moments, and I thought that was super well done. And that it isn't just like a one and done type thing of like, oh, this killer's chasing me or something like that, and then like any other horror movie, and then it just walks away from that.
Yeah.
I thought that was very well done, and like a huge reason why I like this movie so much.
Yeah.
Other than just Edgar Wright absolutely fucking killing it,
Yeah,
and the performances and everything, the soundtrack, cinematography, everything about it was just visually, audibly, stunning.
The performances by Thomasin McKenzie and Anya Taylor-Joy were great. Matt Smith was great. With the choreography of Anya Taylor-Joy and Thomasin McKenzie kind of dancing with the camera in a way that they would switch spots seamlessly. That was really brilliant, and honestly where Edgar Wright stood out. Like that was his most Edgar Wright-esque moments in this film, because there were times where I personally would forget that this was Edgar Wright. You know, it just didn't feel like an Edgar Wright movie. That's a compliment. Like it's
a good compliment.
And that's not to say Edgar Wright movies are bad, but like this, I like it when directors are able to steer away from what they normally do.
It just
But-
wouldn't have worked with this.
Yeah.
And it was smart that he didn't do those things.
Yes.
That he does usually in his films.
Yeah.
Because it's not an action, it's not a comedy, it's a completely different genre, and what he did worked very well for it.
Yeah. Another great performance in this is the late Diana Rigg. I believe this was her last movie before she passed, that she worked on, at least. I don't know release schedule if that's how it's going to work. But she was phenomenal in this, and well deserved. One thing that I think a lot of people will maybe not notice, but if they do, they're either going to love it or hate it. Every single male character in this is two-dimensional.
Yes.
Which is fun because that's how it is a lot of the times, especially in 60s movies for women, where, women are kind of two-dimensional a lot of the time. So it kind of switched those roles, which obviously are kind of going by the wayside in a good way. Like, it's no longer really a thing. But the men having two-dimensional characteristics and just kind of it really separates the good from the bad. Like Michael Ajayo's character John, in the very beginning you get a hint of mystery.
Yeah, he's kind of mysterious. You don't know what he's up to,
and then he's a simp.
the whole rest of the movie he just turns into like this unapologetic, like, I'm gonna throw myself at your feet. What do you need, my darling?
Yes.
Just you tell me which it can be a good thing. Like, yeah, sure, cater to what a woman needs as well, but also calm the fuck down, friend. You're overbearing, but good for you at the same time, I guess.
Yeah.
That was probably the biggest flaw for me, was just that character flaw there. But I mean, other than
I still liked his character.
Yeah, his character was great.
At times it was just like,
dude, relax. She's interested, but calm the fuck down. You're looking bad, brother. But I mean, yeah, it's other than that, I mean, this movie's phenomenal in every sort of sense. At one point, there's a and I want to know if you laughed at this because we were separated, which I'll talk about in a fucking minute. Calm down. At one point, we were separated in the theater, and I text Mike. I'm like, I wish you would look at me the way Terrence Stamp looks at
Thomas and Mackenzie. And I responded, I wish you looked at me the way Anya Taylor-Joy looks at Matt Smith.
And then after, like, right as that happened, they had a hickey on their neck, and I was like, I wish you would give me a Michael Hickey. And I want to know how you felt about that, because I laughed when I typed it.
I just got it. I just got it. Holy fucking shit, how did I not get that? For those who don't know, my last name is Hicks. That is a very obvious joke that I should have gotten, I felt
not. So good about it. I was like, I wish you would give me a Michael Hickey.
I laughed at the fact that you wanted me, like, you joked about me giving you a Hickey, but I didn't even put Michael Hickey together. Wow. It might have been because I was watching a great movie. It was fun. But yes, we were separated.
We were separated for reasons. Two reasons. Two ungentlemanly like conducts of two ungentlemen.
Yes.
There's these guys who were talking during the trailers, which is a normal thing, whatever. We did that. We did the same thing. We were kind of
But
loud.
they did it in a way that made you worried.
Yeah, you're like, we even said during it, we were like, this could be bad, because these guys are pretty loud. Like, we're talking, but, like, these guys are pretty loud. So the movie goes on for about, 20 minutes, and these guys are still kind of just talking, and just talking, and just talking. And finally, Mike had enough. During Shang-Chi, we elbowed kids. Not boom!
After.
Not,
it wasn't during, it was
not
after.
Not during, and also not literally.
Yes.
But still, don't talk during movies.
These men are dead now.
These guys, these...
Not really.
Not really.
Not really, Mr. NFT.
To our hearts, they are.
Yes.
But, these guys kept talking. Eventually, Mike had enough of it. I was gonna rough it through because I didn't want to move seats. But as soon as he got up, they calmed down on the talking.
Not only did I get up, I moved to the front row.
He moved to the very front.
Do you know how annoying someone has to be for me to prefer to do this?
Yeah.
Just for some silence?
One of the guys, during those roller coaster scenes that I was talking about, like where like there would be a lot happening, and then just finally we get a break, every time, there was a couple of them in the movie, every time one of those ended, he would always go, "Jesus Christ!"
I like to
But
think
like every time,
I like to think he said it like Mr. Slave.
Jesus Christ.
Oh, Jesus
Jesus Christ. And then he would also do this thing where he's like he was hawking up something in the back of his throat. If you got a throat disease,
He got popcorn with no drink.
I'm sorry if you got a throat disease.
That's
but
what
also at
happened.
the
He
same
got
time,
popcorn with no drink.
Come on, buddy. No, these guys were very rough. They made the movie experience a little bit terrible, but
I had
the
a great
movie
time after
itself
I moved.
was fantastic.
Yeah, I had a great time after I moved, but it's
It did get to the point where I almost turned around. I was like, "Are you guys fucking okay? Like, Jesus."
Mm-hmm.
But other than that, the movie was fantastic.
It was fantastic.
And I couldn't ask for almost anything better.
Yeah, I think there are enough twists and turns in it that make it a real good thriller. There's some terrifying moments, and honestly, the whole mental illness aspect of it, where her mother had. They never say what she has, but she had depression.
You assume like
schizophrenia or depression or something, and it kind of plays with that a little bit to the point where, as the audience you're kind of like, maybe she is.
Yeah,
she is mentally ill.
You question a lot if she's actually going crazy or if she's actually seeing visions of some sorts.
Yes, yeah.
And then maybe we'll eventually find out. That's for you guys to decide when you watch
find
the
out
movie.
yourself.
But no, it really played very well off of both of those for sure, and really awesome.
Really awesome. Yeah,
so scary.
Edgar Wright really outdid himself with this. I keep going back between a 4.5 and a 5. This is subject to change, but I think I am going to go with a 5 for now because I really loved it. There are minor issues with it, but I really love this movie, and I think most fans of horror will like it, and I think a lot of Edgar Wright fans will like it, and it's just a really great movie. So for now, I'm going to give it a 5 out of 5. That may change on my Letterboxd at some point, but right now it's a 5 out of 5.
Yes. All
Yes.
right. For me, I'm going to give it a 4. Like Mike just said, though, it is subject to change because with Edgar Wright movies, there are those, you miss things on the
I didn't like
one.
Hot Fuzz the first time I watched it. And then I watched it the second time. I was like, man, last week's me was real dumb.
Yes, he was. I'm sorry to say. Yeah, there's a lot that you miss on the first watch. Watching this a second or third time is going to be huge. I also like to watch YouTube videos where people kind of dissect some shit that's going down. Like, oh, he did this thing where lines are like parallel to each other 3 times everywhere he goes, or something like that.
Yeah.
It's fun watching those videos and just noticing things that you never noticed before.
I don't like those videos,
I got small brain syndrome, so
I like finding those things myself, but
it helps me like, yeah, hey, this guy did that. Did you dissect that yourself? No.
Someone else.
Someone did it for me.
Someone
really
on the
cool.
YouTubes.
See, I'm gonna give it a 4. I love the movie. It might change to a 4.5.
Yeah.
At any point.
That's honestly for any movie we see. Like my rating for Dune changed from last week.
Yeah.
After the video was already released, so all of our ratings are subject to change. But this is a great film. You should check it out in theaters.
You should definitely watch it in theaters.
I don't think it's streaming anywhere, but even if it was, check it out in theaters anyway, because that's really the best way to watch movies, especially because of sound design. I think a lot of the people who prefer streaming do not understand how much they are missing with sound design. You don't understand.
And if you don't care, well, I don't like that. Stop.
I don't stop that, please.
Stop that, please.
but
Care a
yeah.
little. Okay.
Downtown, everyone's waiting for down you. Bye.